Remember the 1986 Buick Riviera? It was the world's first car with a touchscreen, a futuristic graphic control center that replaced over 80 physical buttons. It had animated fan icons, adjustable sound, trip data, the works. But critics, like Car and Driver, hated it. They called it fiddly, distracting, and slower than good old-fashioned buttons. Consumers agreed, and just 3 years later, Buick scrapped it. But the idea of a high-tech car didn't die. It just went dormant, waiting for its moment. Fast forward to today. We're living in that future, but is it the one we wanted? We have door handles that are a puzzle to open, gear shifters that look like they belong in Star Wars, and controls buried deep inside software menus. This tech revolution in our cars started slowly. Since the 1930s, cars have always had the latest entertainment tech, radios, tape decks, CD players. But the real shift began in the early 2000s with the move to digital interfaces. Then, in 2012, the Tesla Model S arrived. It wasn't just a car. It was a computer on wheels with a massive 17-inch touchscreen at its heart. It completely changed the game. Suddenly, every automaker felt the pressure to create minimalist, screen-heavy interiors, just like Tesla. By 2018, when U.S. law required all new cars to have rear-view cameras, screens became standard. Tesla's software-first approach, much like Apple's product launches, pushed the whole industry in one direction, even if it meant sacrificing a bit of common sense. Let's look at some examples of how simple things got complicated. The 2017 Range Rover Velar gave us pop-out door handles you had to press a button to use. Not great in an ice storm. The Ford Mustang Mach-E went a step further and got rid of handles altogether, replacing them with hiddens. And don't get me started on gear shifters. They've become a wild west of design with zero standardization. Mercedes-Benz uses a stock that always springs back to the middle, leaving you guessing if you're in drive or reverse. GMC uses pull-style buttons. And the Volkswagen ID.4 has a twisting gear selector hidden behind the steering wheel. Every time you get in a new car, it's like you have to relearn how to drive. Perhaps the peak of this complexity is the Genesis Crystal Sphere. It's a rotating crystal ball with mood lighting and vibration feedback that you use to shift gears. It sounds cool, but it is so unintuitive that it needs a nearly 4-minute instructional video just to explain how to put the car in drive. Back in 2017, Car and Driver was already calling out these confusing new gear selectors as stupid, and the trend has only gotten worse. Today, 97% of new cars in the U.S. have at least one screen, and essential things like the button to open your glove box have vanished, replaced by a multi-step scavenger hunt in a touchscreen menu. Then came the subscriptions. In 2022, BMW tried to charge UK drivers a monthly fee just to use the heated seats that were already built into their cars. After a massive public backlash, they wisely dropped the idea. It seems some innovations are more about a company's bottom line than a driver's comfort. But there's a much bigger issue lurking beneath the surface. Your car is watching you. Modern cars are data hoovers, collecting enormous amounts of information. On one hand, this can be good. Professor Dale Harrow from the Royal College of Art explains that cars could share data with each other about road hazards, like black ice, making driving safer for everyone. But the reality is much more invasive. A study by the Mozilla Foundation found that 25 major car brands collect far more data than they need. We're talking names, addresses, ID numbers, age, race, and even health status. Nissan and Kia's privacy policies even mentioned collecting data about your sex life. This data can be shared or sold to marketers, insurance companies, or governments, often without you even knowing. This happens through your connected phone and the cameras and sensors embedded all over the vehicle. Take Tesla. Their cars are covered in cameras. The company says they are designed to protect privacy, but former employees revealed that they routinely shared sensitive and embarrassing videos captured by customer cars, all for office entertainment. And if you try to opt out of this data collection, well, you might find that your car's features stop working, or the car might not work at all. This brings us to the most critical issue: safety. Quinn Duffy was driving his 2022 Tesla Model Y over a foggy, snowy mountain pass when the automatic high beams kept turning on, blinding him with the reflection from the snow. To turn them off, he had to take his eyes off the treacherous road and navigate a confusing touchscreen menu. It was a terrifying experience. Kelly Funkhauser from Consumer Reports had a close call in a Rivian when she accidentally knocked the adaptive cruise control shifter into reverse. Tragically, these design flaws can have fatal consequences. In 2016, actor Anton Yelchin died in an accident involving his Jeep Grand Cherokee. The vehicle had a confusing monostable shifter that had been linked to hundreds of crashes and dozens of injuries. While there was no direct proof the shifter caused the accident, it raised serious questions. For decades, vehicle deaths in the U.S. were declining. But around 2011 right, as smartphones and in-car screens took over, that trend reversed. In 2023, nearly 45,000 people died on U.S. roads. Professor David Strayer links this tragic reversal directly to the rise of in-car electronics and distractions. The science backs this up. A 2020 UK study found that drivers using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto had reaction times 50% slower than normal. That's worse than driving drunk or high on cannabis. A Swedish test found it took drivers an average of 10 seconds to perform simple tasks with physical buttons, but over 44 seconds using a touchscreen. In that time, the car traveled over a mile while the driver was distracted. Even something as simple as a door handle can be a safety risk. Renowned car designer Frank Stevenson points out that flush, hidden door handles make it harder for first responders to rescue people from a crash. They have to waste precious time figuring out how to open the door or just break a window. But there is a glimmer of hope. The industry is starting to show signs of a course correction. The European New Car Assessment Program, or ENCAP, announced that from 2026, cars will need physical switches for vital controls like the horn, turn signals, and hazard lights to earn a top 5-star safety rating. And it turns out, this is what drivers want. A 2024 survey found that nearly 90% of drivers prefer physical controls, and 60% said they wouldn't buy a car that was too reliant on a touchscreen. Automakers like Volkswagen and BMW are listening and have promised to bring back more physical buttons, admitting they are better for safety and just easier to use. It makes you wonder, are all these tech innovations really improvements or just expensive gimmicks? As cars get more complex, they also get more expensive. The market for affordable mid-priced cars under $25,000 has almost disappeared. So, are we actually moving forward, or just making our cars more complicated, more dangerous, and less accessible for everyone? Thanks for watching. What do you think about the tech in modern cars? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. See you next time.